some bunnies with a bazooka dunk.
Way downtown. Bang! Bang!
Mama, there goes that man.
Welcome to A Tribe Called Swish. This is the three-man we version again. I got me running point, B more. We have Kev from Ohio on the wing. And this week, we got J Money waving his arm in the air for a lob. So as always, we're brought to you by Southern Edge Beverage Company. Like, subscribe, share. Don't be a hater your whole life. Yo, check the comments, leave a comment, share with your friends. Hey, we appreciate the support. Kev, Jay, Money, what's up? How y'all feeling today?
What's up, my brother? Feeling good? I'm good.
Man, I'm feeling good, looking good, and staying good. That's all it is.
Word. So look, man, we just gonna kick it off, and our boy Ja Morant is back in the news. So another year, Ja's back in the news, but not for the right reasons. But hey, no guns this time, right? So we all saw that post game press conference, and him blaming the coach. Sham said that they suspended him for one game because he didn't take any criticism for his lack of effort in that game against Golden State. So, man, how are you feeling about Ja? And more than that, the Grizzlies. I mean, they got rid of the coach. They traded away Desmond Bane. What is going on in Memphis?
The window's closing. You look at getting Dylan Brooks out of there was one thing. I think he's the draw, right? He's uber athletic and all these things that make Ja Morant great. But at the end of the day, you ask yourself, when was the last time a team won an NBA championship with a point guard with his style of play? You can put LaMelo Ball in that class. All these guards, they're dynamic, but with that style of play, I don't know the last time they won a championship. So you get to a point where I think you're either part of the solution, or you're tearing it down. I think they may have to reconsider getting him out of there. But I think when Scottie Pippen Jr. returns in top of the year, you're going to see some stability at that point guard position, which might make him even more expendable.
Yeah, man, I agree. I feel like the team hasn't been the same since Dylan Brooks left, but I do feel like the team is going after Ja. I said it last week on the pod, man. Ja Morant is going to be a distraction with the antics and stuff like that. But I feel like Ja just needs to, continue to work on his image. I don't feel like he should have been suspended or have any criticism for his post-game comments last week. To me, it wasn't even that serious, honestly. I feel like there might be some truth to what he was saying, though, in the comments. Like, y'all asking me what's going on with my performance. Talk to the coaches.
All right.
They make the game plan. Don't look at me. Yeah, I shot 3 of 14, but I'm not the only reason we lost. We probably didn't come in prepared. I feel like the coach don't know what he's doing. The team ain't been the same since Jenkins got fired, man. So it's a whole lot of mess going on in Memphis.
Yeah, Memphis just seems lost. I mean, they really seem lost. This team should be perennial, at least 3 or 4 seed. They were a 2 seed up until January, actually close to the All-Star break, and then they just completely fell apart. When you look at the record in the second half of the season, I get why they felt like they needed to change, but something is up with this team. Ja's numbers are down. He's missed over 100 games in 2.5 seasons through the injury or suspension or whatever's going on.
That's a lot.
This team, it is. You're right. You make a good point, Kev. No team that I can think of has had an athletic point guard and has led them to a championship. It doesn't mean it can happen. We just haven't seen it, And so this team, they need a lot. They still need another scorer. Triple J is a strong defender, but listen, I know what the analytics say, but I also know what my eyes see.
Yeah.
And this man can't stay on the floor because he's in foul trouble. Him and Cat, they can't stop fouling people. And I don't know how y'all grew up. When I grew up playing ball, if you hacking, that's not good defense.
For sure. Hand checking all the time too. Just swinging arms everywhere.
Leading up to the season, Jackson Jr. got hurt. I think them losing Desmond Bane is a big piece. I think it's just time to hit the reset button and just build for the future. And it's no harm. Sometimes, where we grow just being apart. And I think Ja just needs to go somewhere else. I think you try to maximize and get the most with trading him. You can fill so many holes by moving him. And I just think, that the relationship probably needs to come to an end. And when they lost Desmond Bane, I just think that was the Dylan Brooks, I think, is replaceable to an extent. I know he's an emotional leader. If you look at that team, there's really no veterans around that could take Ja to the side and kind of have a platform to get him back on track. I think he's their leader by default, but that doesn't mean that he's necessarily a general. There's a difference between being a leader and a general.
Yeah, I saw an interesting trade thing of Ja going to Atlanta for Trae Young. And I am not entirely mad at that. Like, I feel that works for both parties, man. What do y'all think?
I like it, man. I honestly feel like that would be a really good decision because I literally in my head was thinking when Kev was talking like, oh, he could go to Atlanta. That'd be a great addition to Trae Young. Honestly, I would take Ja Morant over Trae Young any day of the week. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Ice Trae.
Ice Trae can go sit down somewhere, but I'd rather take guns blazing than a cold Trae, man, because at least I know like what I'm getting from Ja Morant. Like he's consistent. Like he might be starting off a little rocky, but like with Trae Young, like I feel like he can be consistent, but it's not like you can't pinpoint when he'll be hot or something like that. But the only thing I know is that when he's playing against the Knicks, he owns them. So, but outside of that, he ain't owning anybody else.
Sometimes, J Money, that best ability is availability. And I understand. I get what Ja brings that Young doesn't bring, that Trae Young doesn't bring. However, Trae Young is going to be there. He's going to be there in those win moments, shooting his shot, and then guns ablazing. Whereas Ja Morant, I don't know. And then the other thing to consider: what happened during the pandemic when it was the bubble? That the nickname was birthed, Lemon Pepper Lou. So I say you put Ja Morant in Atlanta. Now the social side of that is big. I don't know that he needs to be in that atmosphere. I know a lot goes down in Memphis as well, but from an individual player standpoint, I don't know if Atlanta is the right spot for Ja Morant. Ja Morant, that may not be the spot for him. So I don't know.
If Ja can survive Memphis, he'll be okay in Atlanta. We have to worry about him in Magic City more than him with guns. So
I will say this though, Ja Morant is a liability, like because of the off the court antics, and like if we really want to look at it from a bigger perspective, he got suspended because he was trying to be a gangster. Like from 2 years ago, he got suspended for over almost half the season because of those off the court antics. And so when you're looking at Ja Morant, a lot of the owners are like, cool, on the court, I'll take him. But is he going to be worth the liability, like for the media? Like, is that going to be worth it at all? Like, what's going on?
True. All right. So we're going to move on to the NBA Cup. So the NBA Cup, I'll be real with you. I'm still on the fence about it. I like that they somehow gave the players money, got them incentive for that these games that they normally will not be playing hard in the season, that they're playing hard. I get that. But I'm undecided yet. The first 2 years were cool. So for me, I'm really watching this year to see, are they still playing hard? It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it's a fresh twist. They change the floor, they do all those different things. I like it. That brings some excitement. But then when you see the players celebrate that type of championship, it's like, they ain't bringing the real thing. I like it. I think you just have to kind of keep rolling the dice and seeing how you can keep branching off from it. Maybe this format is just a tip of the iceberg, but I'm kind of, to your point, almost like a wait and see.
I personally like the NBA Cup idea, honestly, because I'm looking at it as, it's something else to give the players a little bit more motivation to win a cup, honestly. Because if I'm the commissioner, I like to look at these point of views too. We got a lot of players in the league that probably will never win anything. But this is an achievement that they can add to their resume of NBA Cup winner or NBA Cup champion, or whatever the case may be. Because what that does for me, I'm like, if I never get to the finals, which is the second hardest thing to do in your career, I'm fine with it. I'm cool with it. I got a trophy. I got a couple of them. I could get a lot of those over the course of my career versus an NBA Finals, trophy, but I'll take it. I like it. It's better than waiting till the All-Star break, man, because that's terrible.
So here's my biggest beef with the NBA Cup. So they stole this idea from soccer, right? And the whole idea from soccer is that you got these teams playing different leagues, different soccer leagues across Europe, right? So you're seeing matchups you don't see all the time, right? So like the Premier League plays La Liga that plays in Spain, et cetera, et cetera. With this, these are just regular season games. Like there's nothing new about it. The newness is the court and the money for the cup. But I know Adamson was talking about expanding to Europe, but I would like to see the EuroLeague teams play the NBA. And that way that gets a real cup action where you're like, okay, I'm not going to see Spain's top team play the 76ers randomly in November. That doesn't happen all the time, So that, to me, that gives me something new. But they just repackaged the regular season game. Like I feel like they're telling us work twice, and it's slightly on the level disrespectful because they're trying to tell us that this means more than the other 82 games. So, but at least they tried something, and so I applaud them for that. But
I'm looking at do the stats count? The stats don't count.
Yeah, everything counts.
Everything counts.
Everything counts. Okay.
Yeah, everything counts. The only there is one game, I think, I can't remember. There's a one random game that doesn't count. That doesn't count for their yearly stats. It's either the championship game or like the first game. It's one like Lucy game.
First game.
Yeah, doesn't count for their stats. It's a weird thing. Yeah.
So Jay Money, it seems like for the last 15 years, the ongoing joke is Charles Barkley, you don't have a championship. So, if someone who won an NBA Cup says to him, "Oh man, but Charles, you don't have an NBA Cup," how is he gonna look at that, Jay Money? Because it wasn't around when they played. But
Right.
to your point, you want us to view it as like I think they can wear it as a badge of honor. But if the previous players knew nothing about it, how were they gonna look at it?
I think, that's a really good question. I think the game evolves with the era, right? But at the same time, like if this was something that, that was applied over 15 plus years ago, maybe Charles Barkley would have won a cup. Maybe he could have, maybe he didn't.
That Phoenix team definitely would have.
Right. But at the same time, that's just how the game came out to be. So yeah, I would definitely wear it as a badge of honor. That's something you can hold over. I'll do it. Charles Barkley ain't got no trophy. I'll do it. Shut up, Charles. You ain't got no trophy.
Right.
So while we're talking about the NBA Cup, let's talk about these 76ers, man. They 5-1. The weirdest thing, teams that we didn't think were going to be the top of the East. The 76ers, the Bulls, and the Bucks. So VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey. Man, what can you say right now? I mean, again, listen, we're only 2 weeks in, so we're not trying to jump off a ledge yet. But
yeah,
hey, man, these boys balling.
And when PG-13 returns, does he break the flow? Does he, break what's going on?
Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
hold on. So Kev, I need you to understand one thing.
Yes, sir.
I love Paul George. He's one of my all-time favorite players.
Playoff P.
But this version of Paul George, I need him to just do his podcast. I can't, man. I can't. Like he is so far from himself, from Clippers Paul George, and he's not even in the same planet as OKC Paul George. So we're not even going to go there.
Well,
This listen. I told Jay Money this on a few pods ago. I visited Chicago. The Sixers were playing Chicago last season. I saw him up close. This man is done. He is washed. Listen, it looks worse in person. He is washed.
Wow.
And I left that arena sad. And then I got angry because I went to that game just to see him, and he was washed. So, listen, again, he's one of my favorite players. But man, I have to come to the conclusion, it's over. So him fitting in, he's just getting where he fits in. Like I do not see him as a starter right now. Off the bench, rally guy, give whatever you can, but he's done, man. And we shouldn't have any. Our expectation, the expectation levels that we have for Embiid should really be with like Paul George. Whatever you could give us is cool, but we expect nothing.
Oh, great.
Wow, what'd you say, G Money?
So I think they're still going to start Paul George. He's still going to be a starter. He shouldn't be, but he's still going to.
I know, it's the money.
Yeah, it's the money, it's the name, it's the accolades, it's just the fact that he's 34, 35. It, so much you could say, but but it's the fact of like how I feel about Paul George is how I feel about Joel Embiid. He's gonna mess up the flow because I think it was the first or second game that Joel Embiid came back, they lost, and they gave him the game-winning shot, and he bricked it, and they lost to the Celtics, and I was pissed about that. So I think Paul George will mess up. Having Joel Embiid and Paul George back on the court is gonna mess up everything.
You know, the interesting thing, similar to like football, you may have a player who has like a checkered injury history, but sometimes the best way to help them is to kind of not necessarily low manage, however, but just kind of ease them along. And I think having the rookie being so explosive in that backcourt working on top of Oubre's play, you know, you get on the same page with Paul. Like, I know the salary demands that he'll be a starter, but that doesn't mean that you're going to get a starter's minutes. You know, I mean, we can dial him back a bit just so I can save you for the playoffs because history says that your body is breaking down. And I understand, to your point, he may have lost a step, but I still think PG-13, playoff P, is still bringing something to the table. But I think you just have to maybe dial it back to keep him healthy so that in the weighing moments he's available.
So the Joel Embiid special. I like it.
But they can't play fast with him. And those Edgecombe and Maxey, they play fast. Oubre also, they all play really. Grimes when he's in there, they play really fast. They have to slow it down. And there is nothing, especially Tyrese Maxey. There's really nothing about him that's slow and deliberate. Like when him and Embiid are on the court, like he's at the other side of the free throw line, and Embiid is just barely crossing the other 3-point line. It's you know, like that. Like, look, Nick Nurse is a great coach, so I know he'll figure it out. But like I think our concerns are valid. That salary is going to make him have to make these lineup decisions that are not going to be good for the team.
Yeah, and then if they, he will play, but if they consider like trading him too, that's a salary hit that they're gonna have to take over for the next 2 or 3 years. Honestly,
and nobody's taking that.
Yeah,
yeah, but you know what, be more. You're right. Tempo is everything in terms of with Maxey, but playoff basketball it slows down. The tempo isn't as rapid, you know. So at that moment, it's a half court set. It's can you defend your position? And we've seen so many players be exposed by not being able to defend their position when it matters most. So just keep him healthy, use him in the playoffs.
Right.
Hey man, shout out to Kelly Oubre. He gave me 38 points on my fantasy team. So I love it. I just want my matchup because of him.
Or so is there a new Lakers big three? Like
yes.
So Lakers 5-2 to start the year. No LeBron. Austin Reeves. Luka came back over the weekend and was doing Luka things. Out like 44. I mean, and Austin Reeves, he dropped like a measly 28. So
yes, it's crazy.
So this Lakers team without LeBron, how are we feeling about this? And am I the only one that is completely surprised?
And you know what? I love it. Because you know the interesting thing is Jared Vanderbilt. Of course, the first 30 games he'll be available, and then he'll turn into Paul as well. He'll disappear, won't play games. But I do like the unexpected production from Connect and Jake
LaRavia.
LaRavia.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness, I love his production. So I'm not surprised that they're playing well. I think. Remember, we talked about AR-15. He plays really well, but certain matchups can take him away, similar to how Minnesota did him last year. So I'm hoping he continues this level of play. We're also seeing Luka weight loss Luka. Maybe now his motor is going to be sustainable. And we'll see. So I really like what I'm seeing. I think when Go James comes back, they're going to be a serious contender.
So I love Slim Don. Okay, and he killing him out there. I would have never. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't expect him when he came back from injury to drop 40 plus. That was not on my bingo book for that game. I thought it was gonna be like a quiet 20, and Reeves would take over. But I love the fact that Reeves is 20. I think it was 22 that he dropped. Was a quiet one, but it was still productive. And then he dropped the other day. They both dropped 29 and 26, and they both had a double-double. And LaRavia also had, I think, 26 as well. So I love JJ Redick's coaching adjustments to the team's success, and he's holding the team accountable. My biggest fear, though, is when LeBron comes back, they start losing games. LeBron is not known for his tenacious defense anymore. He's losing a step too. People don't fear him that much anymore. I'm worried about everyone's production, but I hope he just takes a facilitating role and just dimes it out to everybody. They can just the shooters. And I'm glad they got Marcus Smart out there too, because he's a dog. So I want LeBron to stay hurt a little bit longer. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Hey man, look, I left Marcus Smart off for dead. I thought he was done. I thought it was a wrap. And JJ Redick worked his mojo and has resurrected this man. He's back to his antics. I saw him take that fake charge the other night. I'm like, yep, this is the Marcus Smart I know. So I think like I've been like hesitant about this JJ Redick experiment, but I think I've come across that. Hey man, he's a good coach. Like he is making it work. Like he's lineup changes and whatever. And look, we have to be honest. This Lakers roster isn't the best. No. It really isn't. Like there were lots of question marks coming to the season, and starting 5-2 with this roster, with Luka really in and out of the lineup. I mean, look, listen. All respect due to JJ Redick. Hey, I was wrong, man. Hey, you can coach. I mean, look, there's not many people that can go from coaching elementary school kids to the league. and end up with a 5-2 record with this Lakers team.
Oh, for sure. So remember, JJ comes from that Coach K coaching tree. 4 years playing under Coach K. I'm sure you pick up some of that tutelage, and it makes sense. We see it. I think we knew something was special with JJ when he would destroy Stephen A. in different segments. Yeah, that's when I really became a bigger fan of JJ. But to your point, I think he is coaching them up. I think they're playing hard. I do think Marcus Smart's athleticism is fleeting. And yeah, he's going to show you in certain moments that he can still defend. I would love for them to pick up another shooter, pick up another wing guy, because they're gonna need that down the stretch. Even the point guard position, I think you can get a bit more dynamic there when Luka is out. Of course, when LeBron comes back in a half-court set, he can be your point guard. But in year 23, I want to ask less of him. I think it says something for him to be going into year 23, and he's still an undeniable top 20 player. So he's still playing at a high level. What did Kobe Bryant look like in year 20? What did Vince Carter look like in year 20? They weren't, asked to contribute as much as LeBron is being asked to do. So, but I do think to that point, Jay Money, when he returns, is the exact opposite. I don't think they'll sit around and watch him. I think he'll blend right in. Him being able to assess these 7 games, knowing how to make it work, is gonna be big.
Yeah, I agree. So I mean, the Lakers are the biggest surprise. Yeah. And when we go back to the East, the Bucks too. Like this season is not how we thought it was going to go. Right. Look, the Bucks are like 5-3. The Cavs are 3-3. So this season isn't quite how we thought it was going to go. But I'm gonna tell you, Giannis is out for blood this year. Yeah. Giannis is out for. Listen, y'all can talk about Jokic, and listen. I feel like Giannis hears everything. Jokic, huh? Okay. All right. Oh, I can't win, huh? Okay, cool. Watch this. I am going to destroy everybody in my way. And that man, I just watch him like, I don't understand how you exist. Like him and Vic, I don't understand how these are real people.
Yeah. Man. To your point, they lost Lopez. You gave up Dame Lillard. You know, you gave up what's his name, Middleton. You know,
Yep. Christmas. Yep.
a lot of pieces, and yet they're still winning. And then they have a bunch of guards like I don't even know who these guys are. You know, I just have to look them up. Then it's like, oh, okay. You know, so to your point, I think they will run out of steam because they're still not. They don't have the depth to compete with with the elite in the East. And this is a down year with no Jason Tatum. It's wide open. It's really, really wide open. And as I said, our previous show, I think the Cleveland Cavaliers will emerge to be that top dog. But right now, early, they definitely look like, you know, they got something going on. But I think Milwaukee will fade when it's playoff time.
Hot take, hot take. I actually agree with you, Kev. Giannis will start off hot every year. He does this every single year. He'll drop 50, 40, 60, whatever the number may be. But playoff time, he's ferocious, but he doesn't show that same ferocity at times. And then he also takes like dumb shots too that don't even make sense either. But I'm a little bit more hopeful for the Bucks though, and because Ryan Hollins has just been smoking the pack out of everybody. Like it's like that's crazy. He lit up Golden State so bad.
You
talking about somebody that's out for blood. He was out for blood. That was crazy. So I have hopes for the Bucks. Y'all don't want to hear it though, especially you be more. But Doc Rivers, the coach, is it working? I think it's working right now.
If Doc Rivers can pull this rabbit out of his hat, I will take back all my Doc Rivers slander.
You got to wear a Bucks jersey too with that one.
I absolutely will, because you know Doc Rivers, he talks a good game. Listen, man, hey, look, I will take back all my Doc because he's got Kyle Kuzma, Cole Anthony, Gary Trent Jr., Torian Prince is on that team.
Yeah,
none of these guys are all stars. But Miles Turner is fitting in really well with them. Yep. I gotta check the score, but I was watching before we got on. I was watching that game. Miles Turner is playing really well. So that Miles Turner piece that I thought was kind of repetitive, kind of redundant to have Miles Turner and Giannis on, I felt that wasn't the move. But it looks like it's working. It looks like it's somehow Doc is doing something and it's making sense. So I don't understand it, man. I don't know what's happening with him, but I can't argue with wins.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jay. I'm sorry.
The fact that I look at it, the pieces that they traded away, I think the only biggest dynamic, the only thing that hurt them was probably Brook Lopez. But everybody else, I was very happy with trading them away. But like Brook Lopez, also he can shoot the three. He was rebounding he was a good defender. I think with Milwaukee, if Mike Budenholzer and Doc Rivers pushing defense out of his big men, I think that helps make the push. But you got Miles Turner, who's younger, in the closer age with Giannis, so their careers will start to take off at the same level too. Yeah. So I like what they did. I like the Doc Rivers insanity plan. I'm all for it. So yeah, we'll go for
it. To your point, Jay, when they actually upgraded, you kept a stretch five with Miles, and he's younger. Probably a better defender than Brook Lopez. So they kind of upgraded, and we actually need to mention Kuzma. So I'm not surprised that they are winning. They got a solid team. It's funny with Doc. It's like we spent more time talking about his hairline than the coaching. That championship with Boston seems like decades ago,
lifetime ago,
lifetime ago. Since then, it's been, mediocrity with him. You look at his time with the Clippers, all these different times, all these blown series leads. Doc better get it right, because I feel like, it's more bravado, more name than substance, and it's something.
So real quick, speaking of that game, the Bucks just won 117-115 against the Pacers. Giannis had a walk-off fadeaway jumper, 17-foot walk-off. Finished with 33. So he's making it happen. He is making it happen. Yeah. So the Bucks, but also in the East. The Knicks, man. I don't understand this team. it's the same people, different coach. I know. We know how you feel about Mike Brown, Kev. We know how you feel about Mike Brown. We know how you feel about Mike Brown. Same people, different coach. They can't win on the road.
Talk to us, Jay Smooth. Talk to us, Jay
Cannot win on
Smooth.
the road. Listen, again, everybody, it's early. This is a week. So depending on when you find this podcast, we're just like 7 games to the season. But there are only 2 other teams that haven't won on the road, and that's because they haven't won anywhere. So that's the Nets and the Pelicans and the Knicks. Those are the 3 teams they haven't won on the road this year. So J Money, make this make sense for me.
They'll figure it out. It'll be fine. Mike Brown will get them right. My biggest concern, and I'm not gonna hold y'all, okay? My biggest concern is Cat, crybaby Cat, Mr. and all that, like Mr. Video Game, Mr. Trendy, whatever the case may be. He needs to get in line. I want Mike Brown to go Mr. Remember the Titans coach Boone on him. If you cry, I will break my foot in your hind part, and then you will run a mile. So I really want Cat to get it together, honestly, and perform. I feel like no one else is complaining about the play style. I think that it's just the chemistry with Cat and the other guys. I feel like everyone is performing as they should be, but they just need to lock down these wins on the road, because that's going to come real crucial, especially in playoff time where it matters the most. So we still got a lot of season left to figure it out.
For sure.
It's just a public service announcement.
My people, it's your boy Chub Rock. And yes, you know me for Treat 'em Right. Just the 2 of us, Chubster. Yes. But now, on the entrepreneurial train, we're talking liquor now. My own liquor brand, Southern Edge Spirits. Telling you, go to your local store and ask for it. That sweet caramel whiskey. That sweet tea vodka. And, of course, that passion berry tequila. Mix it with your favorite fruit juices. Make that boots on the ground with some green Hawaiian punch. That's right, Southern Edge Spirits. Black owned, black endorsed. It is us. I call it the FIBU. For everyone, by us. Your boy Chub Rock, baby. All right, Southern Edge Spirits. That salted caramel whiskey, sweet tea vodka, and of course that passion berry tequila. All brought to you by my Southern Edge family. You're going to see a lot of tastings coming up. You're going to see us endorsing a lot of parties. Southern Edge Spirits. Put it on your shopping list this summer, because we here, baby. We outside.
We done with the 90s. Garbage. And what's going to happen is the more games they lose, more finger pointing. And you're going to look to blow it up. I think they have a stockpile of talent too. And as I said in the previous show with Mike Brown, you still have issues with the front court. I don't know what's going to go on with Mitchell Robinson. And you said Big Cat, does he want to be a center, not want to be a center? It's just a lot going on there. I feel like that mesh of what they have isn't going to work. You have to blow it out and trim some of the fat, because they had the Villanova connection. You broke it up. Jalen Brunson, while he's a great player, he's still undersized. And in these weighing moments, his lack of height kind of shows up. And that's why Indiana was able to edge them. Then you got OG Constantly out of the lineup. Josh Hart is your universal player that can do everything, but they just don't have a true identity. I don't even know who their true leader is. You can say it's Jalen Brunson. I don't know, but I just feel like that Knicks team, something isn't right, and I think they're going to make some changes by at least by the All-Star break.
And Josh Hart can't find his shot this year. Like, he is shooting, like, I can't remember the number, but he like his shot is gone. So you can't have someone logging that kind. Like, I know everyone wants the hustle player and the glue guy. But you can't have somebody shooting like 30% from the field on the floor. Like that. Yeah. At least not playing those kind of minutes. And
I think it's a health thing.
It possibly is. But that team, when I watched them last night against the Bulls, and that team, like, they don't look special. Like, they don't look special. They just don't. Like, Jalen Brunson looks like a really good player. And look, we've seen what Jalen Brunson does in the playoffs. We've seen him under clutch moments. So this is not a knock with him. But this team as a whole, doesn't look special. And we have never seen a team to be able to be carried by a small guard. And he has to carry this team because you can't really trust Cat. Like Cat should be the guy that's carrying this team, but you don't really trust him because we've seen him not be aggressive in key times. And so that's my biggest concern with this team right now. Again, it's early, but they just don't seem special right now.
Good point.
So, all right. So I think I guess I have a question before make a point to the team. Is the age of small guards over?
Good question.
So I'll say this: there was never really an age where small guards really won. We haven't seen a small guard win a championship since Isaiah Thomas. So I mean, Steph, but Steph is 6'3", so I don't know if he's real. Steph, but Kyrie wasn't the leader of that team. That was LeBron's team.
Whoa!
Kyrie hit the big shot, but come on, that was LeBron's team. I mean, let's be real here. Kyrie hit the big shot, but that was LeBron's team. So Steph is 6'3". Like when I think of small guards, I think like AI. I think so I think like 6'1". And there's not a huge. There's really 6'1" to 6'3", so I'm not I'm not trying to be like that guy. But we really haven't seen a small guard really win since Isaiah Thomas. Like we've seen them have these runs, but not really.
The last small guard was Fred VanVleet, Toronto.
Oh yeah.
But
he's
he
6
wasn't
foot.
But he wasn't the lead. I get what you're saying, but when you think that Raptors team, are you thinking of Fred VanVleet? Or are you thinking of Kawhi?
Kawhi was their best player, but Kawhi is not a vocal leader. He's not a vocal guy.
That's fair.
VanVleet definitely has presence, but to your point prior to that, you got to go back to the days of Isaiah Thomas. But I just think it's tough. It's tough, J Money, to be a small guard. You have to be truly outstanding. You got to have the athleticism of Nate Robinson. You have to have the jump shot, of Steph Curry. And it's tough to find that type of prototype type guard. There are some good guards, but the small guard, I do think that era is over, J Money.
So I appreciate everyone's input. So I'm always gonna say Kyrie is a small guard because he's 6'1". He's like 6'1", maybe 6'2", but he's got a ring though. He's been known to become a leader. The media has just portrayed him to be a bad guy though, because of comments that were made. Not even comments. I think it's just stuff that he shared. Yeah. But if you look at the past history, his teammates has always said he's a fantastic teammate and he's a leader and he talks in the locker room.
Fred VanVleet. So are we about leaders or are we talking about like winning? Because those are two different things, right? Because I think that goes back to what you were saying with Fred VanVleet, right? So yes, he is a leader, but when I think of like the era of small guards, I think of at the end of the day when the trophy is put up, who's the guy, and that's how I view it. Now you're right, there are definitely good small guards who have been leaders. I agree with Kyrie as a leader. I agree that Fred VanVleet, all good leaders, and I think Chris Paul, good leader, all these players. But I just when you asked that question, I thought of who is going to hoist that championship? And when I look at the landscape, I don't see none.
But my thing is though, like when Bron won that ring, he wasn't winning it by himself. He won it because Kyrie, they both had like 30 plus in that series against Golden State. Sure. If Kyrie, and we've seen it before too, when Kyrie got hurt and he tore his ACL in that series the year before, they lost. They lost that year.
Okay, but they lost Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving. They lost a lot. It really was. Look. Listen, Kev is the LeBron guy. I am kind of like, I appreciate him. Kev is the LeBron guy. But look, I'm gonna throw him some bail. He can't lose Kevin Love and Kyrie and be like, hey, I'm gonna throw, I can't let him go like that.
Absolutely. J Money, now consider Kyrie did do his thing in the finals. You're right? But if there's no block, there's no shot. And for every game that Kyrie went off, whether it be 30 or 40, LeBron had the same stat line. So again, Kyrie can wear his ring with pride because he earned it. But to your point, be more, Brown was the undoubted leader of that actual team, and Kyrie wasn't a leader in Boston. Prior to LeBron coming back to the Cavs, Kyrie won Rookie of the Year, but we didn't win 40 games. Kyrie isn't a good leader. That's why that time in Boston did not work. That's why his time in Brooklyn, he was selfless and said, hey, James Harden, you go ahead and be the point guard. I'll be the two guard. But he's not an exceptional leader. Didn't do it at Duke. Didn't play enough games. So I don't know whenever we've seen that leadership quality from Kyrie. He's been the best player many a times. But leadership, I don't think is necessarily his stamp. I think he is a team guy, but I just don't think he's a vocal leader out there. Not like that.
So when we hear the word leader, what are you guys' definition of a leader?
Someone that's willing to be uncomfortable. Someone's willing to kind of get in your space. Someone that's willing to kind of tell you what you may not want to hear. Like again, you look at leadership. You look at a Chris Paul, a Ray Lewis, or whoever. These type of guys are willing to grab their teammate and just tell them what they may not want to hear. I don't know that Kyrie Irving is doing that.
That's valid.
So as we talk about Kyrie and we talk about that, I like the whole no block, no shot thing. So LeBron, we haven't really talked about that much this podcast because, he's out with his old man injury, sciatica, but Stephen A. Smith can't keep his name out of his mouth. And look, man, again, I like LeBron. I am not a LeBron guy, but I like LeBron. Like he's, especially his second half of his career, more so, I've been way more into LeBron than his first half. I thought his first half was kind of weird to me. He had some antics, but this half, I think because he's in his old man phase, he doesn't care anymore. Mm-hmm. I like this version of LeBron, but Stephen A. got to shut up, man. Like I understand Stephen A. makes a ton of money. He gets a lot of views, and there is a strong segment of people, obviously, who keep watching everything he does.
Yeah.
But he got to shut up. And I know that's literally the opposite of his job, but he's got to shut up, or at least shut up about LeBron. Like I'm LeBron could step on him if it ever got to a physical altercation. He talks tough, like, okay, yeah, no, this is not that kind of party. Listen, and I'm sure LeBron hasn't been in a fight in 30 years. But there is a substantial size, strength, health difference between these two people. He's just got to shut up, man. He's like, criticize, sure, but what he did on Melos on 7 p.m. in Brooklyn, that was crazy. That conversation, you gotta chill. You gotta chill.
J Money, what's your take?
I just want Bron to take his 6'9", 250-pound jacked man, and just slap him in the face.
Pause.
Whoa. Hey, yo. I just want him to take the Will Smith approach. Honestly, like, just go up to him, smack him, just across the face. I think what Stephen A. is doing is no longer professional. I think it's really, you're now attacking a man. Now you're not talking about a player anymore. You're talking about a man, and he is, as B Moore was saying, he has been so vocal about Bron, criticizing every single thing. I think something else went down between the two of them behind closed doors that hasn't been talked about in the media, because he talked about, I never liked him. I feel like that's wrong. I feel like he did like him. I think he also has respect for him, but something went down to where it triggered Stephen A. to go on this 6-month rant about LeBron, calling him a nigga on public. Like, you need to shut up, because he will slap you. That's how I feel about it.
or send somebody to do it. I'm with you, J Money.
Yeah.
So the funny thing with Stephen A, I think be more he's in such a good spot because he can be as controversial as he wants. He can say whatever he wants to say, but the minute a player responds back to him, it's newsworthy. It's now where it's back and forth, and I'm not the type of guy to tear Stephen A down. I like it. I like what he represents. I love his background. I love that. The triumph of the. I think he struggled as a kid with reading, to being this Philadelphia writer, to all of that. I respect his journey, but to your point, Jay Money, it's to the point. It's more propaganda with him. It's more clickbait. It's almost like Stephen A wants you to view him like he's a player. I've seen him walk into stadiums with all these security guards like he's a player. And I'm just not that interested in him. And let's not talk about physical combat. We've seen Stephen A with the focus mitts throwing punches. Like, we shouldn't even talk anything about combat. Just keep it sporting. You know what I mean? But I think, to your point, I think he has crossed that line. It has gotten really personal with LeBron, but I think that's his intent because. But notice LeBron hasn't made any comments since confronting him face to face. But since then, Stephen A is on this press run, like you said, just kind of speaking up, making himself more newsworthy. And I'm just really not even interested. I'm really not.
Yeah, I'll say another thing about it too. I agree with you too, Kev. Stephen A. Smith represents for the culture of progress. And I appreciate that about Stephen A. because he has brought a lot of notoriety to a lot of other celebrities, like especially Shannon Sharp too, and Skip Bayless, and then Cam Newton now too, coming on First Take, and what he's doing for a lot of careers. I hate to combat that with a but. Because of what's been happening with this whole LeBron thing. I don't know what it is. I think you just don't like the fact that he can't have access to Bron anymore. I don't know what it is, man. But
to me, it's not just the LeBron thing. It was the whole Kyrie thing. See, look, we're not gonna get to the whole pro or anti-vax thing because I don't want us to go down there. But Kyrie made a stand, and Kyrie stood on business by saying, "Look, I will lose money. This is my beliefs. I'm not going to do it." And I hate the fact that he twisted that into Kyrie doesn't want to work. And that's when I started looking at him funny. So I'm just like, no, he's standing on principle. He's putting his money where his mouth is, which is what we would want somebody to do like that. And you're conflating it with he doesn't want to work. And that's my issue. And so, yes, you're right. He's done a lot, and full stop, no buts. But even for people who have done a lot, you still have to watch how and what you're presenting to the public. Yep. And he's got to a point in his career where the guardrails are off. He's in that old man phase like Bron, where he doesn't care anymore. He's going to say what he wants to say. He's just signed that new contract with ESPN, so he really can't be fired. Or if he does, he gets a highly paid vacation. So it's like, he's in the catbird seat, so he can say what he want to say, and it's all good, So
he's comfy.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I agree being wrong.
All right, so we're gonna swing this off to, speaking of old men, Golden State, the Golden State Warriors. So look, they're not that impressive this year.
Oh, hater, such a hater.
They're like 4-3 right now.
5-3.
5-3, okay, but they've looked good. I mean, they've honestly looked good in most of these games. Steph is being Steph. They're finally got the chemistry with Jimmy Butler is finally coming along, and so Kuminga's playing well. This team is good, and I am going to do my best to not be in like the internet state of, if you're not winning a championship, then you're a terrible team, because there's so much more to basketball than just winning a chip, because everybody can win a chip. But this team is good and, entertaining. So, I'm happy to see them back.
I'm with you. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, G.
No. Go ahead.
I think it's interesting with Golden State. They are a good team and they have good pieces, but I think they're you gotta trim the fat a little bit. I don't want to rely that much on Draymond Green. He brings tempo, he brings energy, he brings attitude, but it's just time to kind of scale it back on him because he's getting older by the game. And then you bring in Al Horford. I love he's a stretch 5, but Al Horford is probably 55. It's just time to. I think for them to get a little younger. I think they mishandled the Kuminga situation, And while you can still, package some pieces, I would blow it up. Again, it just kind of build for the future. Even if you're hung on to Steph, you can trade Steph. But I would just blow it up and just try to get younger at the wing positions and then the front court.
All right. Okay. This is my favorite part. So, be more, Uncle Third.
What's up?
What do you say at the beginning of the podcast?
Don't be a hater your whole life.
Exactly. And right now, you sound like you've been a hater your whole life on Golden State. And I just want to say, hang on to your seatbelts, because this is going to be a wild ride, fellas.
Okay.
It's going to be a great ride. Listen, I think at the most, they might be a play-in team, but from what I can see, though, I have high hopes, not for a high seed, but for a low seed playoff spot. And I love the way Kuminga has come up, and I love the fact that Steve Kerr has, whatever he's done, whether it's pride or I don't know what it was, but right now I don't care. Kuminga is playing, and I love it. It's effective when he's on the court. He's building his identity. And to your point, Kev, with the Draymond situation, I think they're going to have Kuminga because he also plays fast and he's also a good defender. They might put Kuminga in a Draymond situation to where he could be an enforcer. He's a versatile defender. He can pretty much guard pretty much the 1 through the 4. If I want to keep it a buck, he can guard the 1 through the 4. I'm not sold on Pods though. That's the only player that I'm not bought on. Because there was talk about like him getting the keys to the franchise once Steph retires. I'm not building around him.
No.
Exactly. And then I just saw a stupid comment from him about playing for the Dodgers and he could be the Shohei Ohtani. You know what? I want to tell Pods to shut up. And he's an efficient scorer, but he's not a number 1 guy. He's not even a number 2, honestly.
No.
I think they probably could trade him. If they want to trim fat, they could trade him and Buddy Hield. Please get rid of Buddy Hield.
Buddy.
And then they could get some more. They could probably get Quentin Grimes, honestly. That if you really want to get somebody.
That would be interesting, yeah.
And a Max Christie too. So those are some players that I wouldn't be mad at them trading for. Because Buddy Hield, he's still young. Pods is still young. They got a lot of future career left in their game, but I am trying to win another ring before Draymond and Steph retire. And so, amen. Hang on. It's gonna be a great season, fellas.
I feel you.
All right. So, we're gonna move on from them to our boy, street clothes, Anthony Davis. Is injured again.
Glass body.
So it looks like he's probably only gonna miss he's missed 2 games. I haven't seen if he's going to play this week, but I think we can say Dallas lost his trade now. I think we were holding on hope because we're like, hey, AD, Cooper Flag, Kyrie, they're gonna be something special, but I don't know if we will ever see that combo on the floor together. I'm not sure. So if you're in Dallas, like AD in and out of the lineup, Kyrie, if we're lucky, January, February, you got Cooper Flag and a good roster, but like, what do you do with this season? I mean, is this a Cavs trade? So it might be he'll be back soon, but what do you do? What do you do?
Yeah. So the interesting thing is with AD, it's tough, man. It's really, really tough because, we look at a Kawhi Leonard. We talk about low managing. And, and Stephen A is one of the people who gives him a lot of scrutiny about missing games, not playing. Whereas AD, he misses games, but he still keeps coming back to play. And even right now, it's determined he has to wear those protective glasses for the rest of his career. But he's still trying to play. So I respect that. I recognize when you have had any type of surgery, the mental fortitude it takes to get back is tough. And I don't want to minimize that. But to your point, B more, they absolutely lost the trade. I think to give up Luka, and he's in his 20s, And it's like, there's no way you make that trade. I get it, but there's no way you make that trade for this guy who's just proven to break down when he's playing. He's great. When we saw him in the bubble, it was an Anthony Davis that we just all have been waiting for. But then since then, the body has just been breaking down. And while I salute him still trying to play, it's just you can't win like that. It's like the Joel Embiid experiment. The process is over. It's just time to blow it up and get out of there.
All right. The Lakers won this trade from day one. And I'll tell y'all why. Kev, what's your favorite phrase when it comes to players? Availability is the best ability. And AD is never available. I got, if I'm a manager and I lose all my other players, I can't call KD because he's probably in the hospital. Listen, his injury came right on time. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was like clockwork every season. Game 7, and he didn't even do anything. To be honest with you, it was a calf strain, right? Yeah, and he missed a shot, and then went, "Oh no, let me go down."
I hate those injuries. I hate that when it's just like something happens and they just crumble. Like I hate the injuries, man. I hate it.
The college player, I think it was from Des Moines. I think it was. He went up for a dunk and missed it, and then faked a cramp.
Yeah, I saw that. And the announcer clowned him. Yeah.
I think AD. I know for a fact. I know AD wants to be out there. I feel like he has a fear factor on him when it comes to playing, because if I look at it wholeheartedly, yes, he has a ring, but did he really work for it? I mean, if we look at his career, could he be in the Hall of Fame? Did he really deserve that ring? I mean, I got a lot of question marks about his career. If I look at it again from a bigger perspective, I'll look at it as Anthony Davis is going to be the greatest Pelican in the history of the NBA, and that is going to be it. I also worry that the AD, Kyrie, and Cooper flag experiment is going to be a repeat of the Brooklyn Nets, Kyrie, KD, and James Harden experiment. They played 32 games together. We might not even get that.
Well, I do get that. I do get that. I just think that with AD, it's tough because the effort is there, the commitment is there. Maybe it is a mental thing. I don't know. I think one thing they've always talked about was his body not transforming. One of the greatest things about LeBron has been his durability. And whether it's rumored that he spends $1 million on his body or not, for a millionaire, that's not a tough feat. That's somebody's worth that sacrifice. But you got to do what you got to do to keep yourself on the floor. And I can't say that AD is not doing that, but I also just have to look at his body hasn't transformed. Go back to Allen Iverson, being undersized. When you scarf at going into the weight room, doing all of that, somewhere along the way, it rears its head. You need to be durable for the rigors of what the NBA is. And maybe AD hasn't fully invested. He once made a comment that he didn't even pick up a basketball until maybe training camp was about to start.
I heard that.
That was crazy.
Yep.
And you might want your time, man, but that might be the issue right there. It's an all year round thing, and you have to really put in the time. But that, again, go back to the LeBron thing, and I hate to kind of give him even more praise, but think about that.
This has been a LeBron show for some reason.
With 23 years, playing at this level, but it just speaks to the off-court regimen, and maybe AD's off-court regimen isn't what it needs to be, and we're seeing it in these injuries.
And I feel like he needs to take up an extra off-court, training. And if he really is serious about his, health, do yoga, man. Like that'll really build your body durability, man. Because pause, but you get stretched in every ways, or you just you need to be stretched. But
he needs to hang out with Tony Goggins. Isn't that his name? That military?
The guy.
That's who he needs to hang out with.
Seriously.
Yes.
All right, so we've come almost to the end of another great show, but I'm gonna give everybody a minute to burn on something. I'm gonna kick it off real quick. So Zach LaVine, the Kings. There's a saying of if a tree falls in the forest, doesn't make a sound. It really should be, does anybody care? Because that's what's happening with Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine is on a 2-4 Kings team, averaging 30 points a game right now. He is a walking bucket. No one can D him right now. And he's been like that since he's been with them. But nobody cares. And that's going to be a theme in his career. People haven't really cared about Zach LaVine since the dunk contest. We were excited about him. We went to Chicago. Him with DeMar DeRozan. We're like, great. And Lonzo Ball. Lonzo gets hurt. He's in and out of the lineup. They blow it up. And then they say, hey, let's do Chicago West Coast. And they move him and DeMar somehow to Sacramento. And it's the same thing. It's a losing team. And when you look at this team on paper, this team should be good. You've got 3 really good players of Sabonis, DeRozan, and Zach LaVine. And they all do different things. But as a team, it's not good because Schrader is your starting point guard, and that's never going to work out. But I feel bad for him because he's a really good player. He's an exciting player. His game is so smooth. But when his career is done, I don't think anybody is going to really care about it. And that's kind of sad.
I understand that. I understand that a bit more. You know what? It's something. I can't. This season, we're not even 20 games in. What we got? We got rumors, we got gambling, we got scandal, we got injuries, we got so much to pull from, and I don't know where we're headed, to be honest with you. But it's exciting. It's exciting to see. You know, I do think this is going to be a historic season. I do believe that this is the year of the underdog too. I don't see OKC repeating. I think they're going to be a juggernaut. I definitely see some teams stockpiling talent. I see just a lot of movement this year, and it's lining up to be an epic season. But I just don't know because there is so much disparity. You know, this is the window to do it in the East. You got a Boston team filled with injuries, and then you got the West. I don't know. You got Golden State. Can they beat the Nuggets in 7 games? I don't think so. Can they beat the Thunder in 7 games? I don't think so. I think that the creme de la creme is still them, but I believe that the NBA is going to make some big changes. That we're going to see some big roster moves, and I would love to see what Philly does with Joel Embiid. I say they might even trade him.
I agree. I think with Zach LaVine, I have more like pity and empathy more than excitement for him because I feel like he is just wasting away his career with these small market teams, honestly. You know, he started off at Minnesota and then he went to the Chicago. Chicago is not really a small market, but what was happening there, I don't think it was really helping his career. I think he went from mediocre to even more mediocre, and then he went to another mediocre team. He's not a mediocre player. He's an all-star. I really hope Zach LaVine could just speak up for himself and be like, yo, put me on a winning team so I can get a ring. I'm still young. I still got it. Just get me out of here, please.
Former dunk champion. I'm with you. I think, but again, I'm sure when DeMar DeRozan and Zach got on the same team again, they was like, oh, not again.
Right.
You know, because it didn't work in Chicago. So it's just, I think, blow that up too, because that's not working. I think you got to get to a certain point where just a fresh start is better for everybody. I think to your point, Zach LaVine can get some fresh air and many other players.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So this has been a great episode. Another episode of Tribe Called Swish. Again, brought to you by Southern Edge Beverage Company. Thanks to Care from Ohio and J Money. Another great episode. So we'll see y'all next week, man. Holla. Peace.
Peace.